Atchison. You've joined the Atchison Chat News. I'm Laura Wing, and this is my co-host,
Eric Royer. Nice to be with you all.
We are excited, Eric. We have some fun stuff coming up today, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yes.
We're going to be interviewing a local new to Atchison, Atchisonian, right? We're going to be doing that. And we're going to be talking about all sorts of events that are coming up. We just have a really great show for you today. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Atchison Chat. I'm Eric Royer with my friend Laura Wing here, and we're going to be going over kind of what's coming up this week. Or month, I guess, too,
yeah,
right?
It's October already.
Oh, my.
So we're a little bit
this
late,
year has
actually.
flown by, hasn't it? My word.
Yeah, it's going fast.
Yes.
So let's see. One of the events going on is that Benedictine College is doing a cheerleading camp.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
I know the kids love it. My youngest daughter, did cheerleading all through high school, and I know they always had a good time when the little elementary kids would come for cheerleading camp. But this will be grades 1 through 8. It's going to be held October 8th. You need to get a hold of Benedictine College if you are interested in having your child enrolled for that cheerleading camp.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good time. What else coming up?
We actually have a new business in town. Thorne's House of Cards and Collectibles has just opened up. And if you are into cards or collectibles and that sort of thing, sports memorabilia, all kinds of things, he has everything you'll need. And plus, it's a young guy starting a new business in Atchison. It's a great opportunity to kind of get to know the younger folks and kind of see what's going on.
Yeah, get out and support it.
Yes.
So, question: do you collect anything? Do you like baseball cards?
No.
Or any of that stuff? No.
I like coins. I used to like rocks, and then Dad put them on the driveway. Now we have a gravel driveway, but I like coins. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah, I never really got into that stuff. I don't know.
There's some really collectible stuff out there. Like I was reading the other day, somebody found their father or grandfather had a Stradivarius guitar. It was one of only 2 known to exist. Wow. And now it's in a college someplace in Nebraska. But
fun. Yeah, I have never really been into collectibles, but I am excited about this business because I saw pictures. If you saw the pictures right before the grand opening, it looked like there's some cool stuff just to go browse, and who knows, maybe you'll get into collectibles.
Exactly, and you might have something that...
Or some good gift ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my, with Christmas coming up, that's a great idea.
I understand you know something about some trolley tours.
Yes.
What's that?
So the haunted trolley tours have started, and so you can actually get tickets down at the Chamber or the Chamber of Commerce website. But the trolley tours are running Fridays and Saturdays. I'm actually going to be leading a few, and there's several local people and you get to find out some of the history and the mystery and just really cool stuff about this town. Atchison is so chock full of history, and so it is a really neat place, or a really neat tour to go on. I highly recommend it. Even if you're not really into the whole haunted thing, just to know some of the stories about haunted doesn't necessarily mean scary. It just means something has a history around it, or is shrouded in mystery. And so sometimes it's really cool to go and find out about these local things. It's just like, wow, I had no idea about that. And so it's a really cool thing. And if you know me, you know I like history. And so I absolutely love doing these tours because they are really, really, really fun. And they're exciting.
Well, good. Good. When we first moved here, we went ahead and took one of the trolley tours. It wasn't the haunted trolley tour. It was just the regular tour. And we learned a lot about Atchison, which was great. Being brand new to the area, it was fun to learn about where I live and note some of that history.
Right.
So something else coming up. We all know it's October, right? This happens to be one of my favorite months of the year. I love October. I love when the leaves are starting to turn colors and the air is changing. It's my favorite thing. But what's coming up? Halloween.
Halloween, yep.
So no doubt there will be all sorts of Halloween events going on in town. And keep an eye on the Atchison Chat group feed, because people are always posting different events surrounding that are coming up. There might be parties or trunk or treats and things like that. So you want to keep an eye out for that. But most important, I want to really stress to people this time of year, be safe. Yes. Be safe. Aside from Halloween this month, we also have Harvest is still going on. And Eric, I know you know this, but probably a lot of people don't. I just recently went back to work. I went back to driving truck.
I heard that.
So I'm driving truck all over, primarily to South Dakota. And I see a lot of grain trucks on the road right now, a lot of them. And, you know, and I see these cornfields being cut down and the landscape is changing every few miles, that's for sure. But I want to just tell you people, be safe and look out for these grain trucks. They are trying to get those grains out of the field as quickly and efficiently as possible before they just rot in the fields.
Right.
You know, this is necessary. This is what feeds our country. Our farmers are doing their best to make sure that you have food on the table, that your livestock are fed, that, you know, that we move, that this country moves along. So be careful when you see those grain trucks lined up and they're trying to get into the elevators. Just be patient. I know that it's really frustrating when you get stuck behind a big piece of implement equipment and they're doing like 10 miles an hour and you just want to get home, but please be patient and be safe. Above all, be safe, because sometimes they can't see very well.
Right.
They've got all that dust behind them, and that dust, you know, doesn't just stay behind them. It gets to the front of their windshield, and sometimes they can't see those smaller cars.
You probably know this, but one Kansas farmer feeds 155 people.
That's right.
And so if you do the math on that, I mean, we have a tremendous amount of farmers around here, and majority of what's grown in Kansas is not kept in Kansas. It goes nationwide and often worldwide. So it's what you're seeing often is the feeding of a nation and not just our own. That's right. So it kind of is a humbling thought to think something grown in Kansas is going all over the world to feed people.
Isn't it amazing?
Oh my Lord.
Our grain elevators, they try to keep them full so that we can feed everybody.
Did you know,
not just us,
that in the Flint Hills, when the herds come up from Texas, there is actually more cows in the state of Kansas than there are people for 3 months out of the year.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah,
it is. Really something. They're fed on the buffalo grass, the Flint Hills.
Tall grass, yeah, the Flint Hills. So anyway, well, listen, I would like for everybody to stay tuned. Why? You want to tell people what's coming up?
Mike McKenny. And he's a local guy that is doing some really cool stuff with photographs, and you are just going to absolutely love to hear his story. Yep. And if you get a chance, he's been sharing his stuff in the group and other places, and it is really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. It is.
So stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back, Atchison. We are here right now with my new friend, Mike McKenny, right? Is it Mike McKenny?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mike is new to Atchison. You have probably seen some of the things that he has posted into the Atchison chat group. He does some really interesting pictures, and then he infuses other photos into that, I'm assuming with Photoshop, is that right? Yes, and I would like to give Mike an opportunity to talk about some of these pictures. First off, before we even get there, why don't you tell us what brought you to Atchison?
Okay. My wife and I moved to Atchison in November of last year to retire. I was working for a company out of Atlanta, Georgia, and Atlanta got too big.
It's a big place.
It's a huge place. And we moved to Atchison. We came to visit 6 years ago, to visit friends that lived here. Then we came back 3 years ago for the eclipse and fell in love with the town and decided this is where we wanted to retire.
Great place to retire.
It is.
Yeah, good place to retire. So photography is a hobby of yours.
It is.
Yeah?
Yeah. Has been for a long time.
Okay. And what do you primarily like to photograph?
I primarily shoot ballet dance and performance. I've also shot, as any photographer will tell you, about anything. If it doesn't move, I shoot it. If it does move, I shoot it fast.
You just... Okay. So you have taken some pictures of iconic locations here in Atchison, and then you've enhanced them a little bit. You want to talk about that?
Sure. I've got a kind of an oddball sense of humor, and those that have known me will understand that. But what I like to do is take places and make them something that you wouldn't see normally. For an example, putting an aircraft carrier in the middle of the Missouri River.
It's just
something you wouldn't see.
No.
And so I use Photoshop to take multiple images of things and put them together in a way that you wouldn't normally see.
Okay. Well, I know that I have really been appreciating seeing some of these. I think you're calling them Friday Fun Photos or
Friday Fun Day.
Friday Fun Day, and I really do enjoy them, and I know our guests enjoy them as well. What has been your favorite one so far?
My favorite has still been the one from Reisner Park. Now, my favorite has not been published yet.
Oh, no? So
Yeah.
we have something to look forward to.
We have something to look forward to. It has to do with the rail bridge, the old rail bridge.
Oh.
As Eric talked earlier about the history of the town, I always wondered what it would be like to see an old steam train come across that bridge. Well, now I know.
No, yeah.
So
It's fascinating when you get to see that, isn't it?
Right.
It's really exciting. So that's sort of a hint maybe as to what's
It's a
coming
hint
up?
of what's coming.
Okay, well, that's exciting. What else would you like for us to know about you? What have you enjoyed about being in Atchison?
I like the fact that there's 4 distinct seasons in Atchison. I like
Yes.
that it's a very friendly town. Everywhere we've gone, we've met folks that have really enjoyed. I like the fact that it's central, that we can get places fairly easily.
Yes.
The people that I knew in Georgia that I still talk to are wondering why Kansas. In fact, the first thing everybody asked me when I moved out here is, why did you move to Atchison? Well, there's a lot of good reasons to move here.
Yeah.
And my wife and I want to travel some, and if you hit a dart in the center of the United States, you hit Kansas.
That's so true. And my husband and I came here almost 7 years ago. Although we had lived in western Kansas for many, many years, coming to Atchison was so different. You know, when you go to western Kansas, it's all flat.
Right.
There are no trees. It's what most people think of when they think of Kansas.
Right.
So we came here, and I still had people say, why? You know, we've been other places, and why would you go to Kansas? It's so flat there. It's like, you need to come here and see.
Right.
Because Atchison is beautiful. And I love what you said about being so close to everything else.
Right.
You know, 50 minutes, we're in Kansas City. We can go do some major shopping if we want to. And we have this beautiful river. That's one of my favorite places to
Mine
go,
too.
is to go sit by the river. And there are a lot of reasons to be in Atchison, Kansas,
Yes.
I think. Well, Mike, I am so glad that you joined us today. And we
Thank
are
you.
looking forward to getting to see some more of your photography. I would like for you to mention to folks that you started a little, photography group? Or
Sure.
what is that all about?
When I left Georgia, I left a fairly active photographic community. There was about 50 of us in our little chapter of a photo club.
Oh.
And I looked around out here, and there wasn't one. I started talking to the folks from the Art Center.
Oh, okay.
And they offered some space for us. We're calling ourselves the Atchison Photographic Enthusiasts.
Oh, fun.
We won't call them apes because my wife thought that was silly. But what
I get it. Okay.
Yes. So what we're going to do is on the 22nd of October, we're going to get some folks together and just talk about what we'd like to see in a photo club. And we're going to meet at the Cultural Arts Center over off 7th Street. They've offered the space for us.
Wow, that's exciting.
At 10 a.m.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Remind us again of the dates.
The 8th?
Is it the 8th that you'll be meeting?
The 22nd of October.
22nd of October that you'll be meeting. Okay, all right. I just want to make sure that we have those dates clear.
Sure.
So we're not posting something into the group that would be inaccurate. So that's exciting. And so I know that some of you out there love photography, and some of you take pictures. Maybe you're a novice, maybe you're an expert, whatever it is. I would think that this would be open to
It's open to everybody.
all types of people who are excited about photography.
It doesn't matter what camera you use, whether it's film or your phone or a big heavy
fun.
DSLR. Bring what you want.
Bring your pictures and have a good time and connect with people that have similar interests. That's the important thing.
Yes, ma'am.
So, well, Mike, it's been a pleasure having
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for joining us
Thank
today.
you.